Okay, hello. So, welcome to my IRPG video. Why did I say that? So, this is just a guide on some obscure IRPG tech that most of which doesn't have any documentation, any text guides, any video guides of how to do it. One does have a video guide. So I've got three things today. The first one is wiggling. This one does have a video guide that exists by the guy who found it in the first place. It's by far the most important, the newest, and just the most useful of these three, although you don't need any of these things to beat the game. You don't. But they're nice to know. They can be very nice to know, especially if you're trying to really optimize your runs. The other two things do not have names, although I do have kind of names of my own for them that I'll tell you about. So, wiggling. The first thing to notice here is that I am in this Mia spawn. This is the worst one by far. It's such a long run to the middle. This one's way shorter. These two are both way shorter, even though they might not entirely look like it. They definitely are. But if you look, this is the closest to the center, just distance-wise, right? So if you could just get up through here, then you would have to move 1, 2, 3, 4 tiles of the Mias to the center, as opposed to 2, 3, 5, 7, like 10 or something. So this would be by far the best one if you could just get through this. Well, wiggling solves this. It is basically an upward wall clip. So it only works on top left corners. What you do is you start moving left, and then you get a little bit of upward movement as well. And that happens, you just clip straight through an upward wall. It only works in top left corners, and it only works to clip upward. We don't know why. So, based on what I've just shown you, I'm sure you can see where this is going. I'm now here. Boom. And into the middle I go. Obviously I have half gauge right now because I did all this messing around here. But I can tell you that with a clean wiggle, this takes 1 cell of gauge. 1. Maybe 1.5. Okay, usually 1.5, but still very little. So it's far easier to do this on Nox than it is on phone or BlueStacks. This is because on phone, you can't touch anywhere outside of your screen, right? Like you can't touch the area here. Like just off on the left side of where this boss is. You can't touch that because it's not on your phone screen. BlueStacks emulates this behavior. You can click and drag off the edge of the screen, but it just keeps your tap positioned at like the closest piece of edge. So like if I start clicking here and I hold to here, it'll just think my cursor is here. But Nox doesn't work like this. Nox works like this. I'm sure that kind of makes sense. So that means that this angle for wiggling is actually very precise. It's nothing too crazy. It's doable on Nox, but it's very precise. It's much easier on Nox because of that, but it actually can be done on phone or BlueStacks. You just need to have all of your movement gems unequipped, which kind of defeats the point of it most of the time. If it's only a small save of encounter gauge, it's probably better still just to run. But from here, even on phone or BlueStacks, it definitely still does save gauge because on Nox this saves like 4 cells of encounter gauge. It saves like this much on its own, and that's just the amount less running you have to do. It also makes top left an incredibly good spawn if you want to kill dragons, like this guy, because you just go 2 cells down, 1 to the left, 2 down, 2 to the right, and then you're right below Green Eyes Dragon. So I'm sure you can see where this is going. You wiggle up here and you just kill him. Instead of, like that's much faster than even this wiggle here and then the walk to Red Eyes. Like even bottom right isn't as good as top left if you're doing this. It takes less than half of an encounter gauge to get to a dragon. The best spawn used to be bottom left when we didn't know about this, and it took about 3/4 of a gauge to get to Red Eyes. It's a huge difference in quality, in just like how far you have to run. So I'll take encounters here to clear this bonus out for the next thing to demonstrate. And while I do that, I'll also explain the other thing you can use wiggles for. So bonus areas, black and white bonus areas, look like they're infinite areas because all the space in them looks the same and you can't seem to reach the edge. They are actually little boxes that have invisible walls, but those invisible walls have corners, including a top left corner. So if you're in black bonus area, specifically black, and you clip, through the roof far enough, you can reach the edge of black bonus area, and you can actually get out of it. And that'll take you into white bonus area. And it'll do that even if you have less than 66 weapons. Now it's better to just get 66 anyway, and then you can use both types of exclamation mark bonuses, and both can take you to WDA. But if you really don't feel like getting 66, then you can just do that. You can just get in through a black bonus area. But really, I would advise to get 66 anyway. Don't abuse it like that. It is funny, though. So yeah, Mias and bonus areas are where this is really useful, but it's really, really useful in those places. The other two things are not as useful at all. But they do still exist, and they do still have little bits of uses for optimizing certain things, so I'll show them anyway. Plus, it's IRPG tech. Might as well have some kind of guide for it. So the first thing is what I like to call 3 map site. You'll see why pretty quickly. So there's a bonus here, right? You would think that this will only disappear at 15 BP. I'll have to take, 6 fights. Whether they're here or somewhere else, I'll have to take 6 fights before this is gone. Well, what if I try to go to another map and go back in to clear it out? Nope. What if I try to go 2 maps away and go back in and clear it out? I think you can probably already guess why this is called 3 map site, or why I call it this. It's still there. But if I go 3 whole maps away, 2, 3, and then I come back 1, 2, 3, it's empty. There's nothing here. And I'll take another fight here before I explain the third thing, which will be kind of the same. So I'll need to get a bonus again. I'll want to have low gauge. Oh, okay. Well, I got a bonus. That's nice. So where that can be used is if you're in hard mode Coryu map, and say you want half attack because that's the only way you can kill him with your gear. You just want to get a kill for, the role in the Discord server or something like that. You can go 3 maps away if he's got, say, some dog shit bonus on him. If he's got money times 3 for 4 that you can't make use of. You can go 3 maps away and come back in. That is like going to Genbu map, basically, and coming back in. The top left god. And coming back to Coryu map, and then the bonuses will be gone, and you'll be able to keep rolling for half attack without having to wait for fights. That's kind of the main way I can think of to use that. It used to be useful for normal mode level runs, but not so much anymore. So, the last thing is what I like to call movement reloading. So I'm going to do the same thing as I did before. I'm 2 maps out now, and as I go 3 maps out, I'm going to close the game, and I'm going to reload. The bonus will still be gone, but I will never actually enter the 3rd map. Okay, so I'm back here. I'm not right at the start of the map. Sometimes you can reopen the game and you'll be back here. I don't know why this is. It seems to vary a little bit. It seems to be pretty inconsistent. But this does save a little bit of running, right? If I went all the way into map 3 and all the way back, I'd have to run a little farther. So I've saved some gauge by doing this. And it still works. It's still gone. Even though I never entered the 3rd map, it loaded in, and so it unloaded the bonus in here. So yeah, 3 maps out can unload bonuses, and movement reloading can save you a little bit of gauge while doing 3 maps out. That's really the only way I can think of to get use out of it. Maybe there's something else, but I don't know. As I said, it used to be used for NM level record stuff, but now it's really only used for hard mode Coryu map. And even then, it's kind of sketchy to say whether it's useful or not. So I should probably give some credit here. That's it for the explanations of tags. So if you don't want to care, if you don't want to know who did what, then you can just go now. But Ego discovered wiggling. It was actually done once by a guy named iPork in 2021. He didn't know how he did it. He was just playing the game, and then suddenly he's in a wall. But it was properly discovered and understood by Ego in 2023 and really fleshed out by himself, Alku, and Akari over the weeks afterward, really over a couple of days. Movement reloading was discovered by Alku pretty much on his own. I just remember him being like, hey, check this out, you can do this, and it worked. 3 maps out, I think, has been known about for a very long time, but it's never really been explained. That's it. I mean, that's the entire video. Thank you for watching.